Welcome in, everybody. 5 minutes with Sean, maybe 10. Already having fun. We haven't even really kicked things off here yet. For those of you who don't know who's sitting to, looks like my right, I don't know how it ends up on your phone, but to my right, John Resurreccion. John, how are you, buddy?
What's going on? I'm feeling good, feeling alive, blessed, and happy to be here.
Dude, I was just thinking to myself, you have been on the show, but you were on the live version of the show back in the day when I used to go places, and we did the Chronicles in that little Vegas hotel down there on the old strip.
Oh yeah. You're reminding me. Oh, that was a good time.
Yeah, the Carbiz Chronicles, dude. You ripped it up. We had that huge space. It was ungodly gigantic for a suite in a hotel. But yeah, I remember it was a good time, dude. So, John, I always talk to you a lot about getting started. When people just need to throw themselves into it, hit the red button, whatever cliche you're into. So I ask you, my friend, do you remember the first time you hit that red button?
Oh God. Oh yeah. And it was so funny that you asked that, because I recently ran into the first video that I actually recorded. That I'm going to share this. I'm going to put myself out there for this event. Okay. I'm going to put myself out there. And, it's like everyone that's followed people, that influencers. And one of my biggest influencers was Gary V, Vaynerchuk, right? Everyone was a Vaynerchuk fan. Say what you want to say. Everyone, when he started getting on film, everyone started getting on film. Anyhow, my first video, I was at a Kia dealership. It was after I had left at the Ford Mazda store. I took a hiatus from the car business. I said to the owner of the Kia dealership, I say, hey, I want you to work. I says, I'll work, but I want to do it my way. I don't want any leads. I don't want to go to the store. I'll only come when I have a deal. That's the only time I'll come back to work, right? He said, well, where are you going to get the leads? I says, I'm going to try something different, right? So I pulled out my cell phone. I think I had an iPhone. I think it was a 9, right? So video quality was terrible. Anyhow, I put it behind the truck. I hit play, and I tried to sound like some motivational speaker. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. I'm gonna play. I promise you, that's the first thing I'm going to play at being a social. I promise.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be awesome. I gotta tell you, when I went into the archives a while back, and pulled out some of my first shit. And I was in suits, and people were like, "You wore suits and all this other shit." Right? It was so funny to and I was all like buttoned up and like all serious. It sucked so bad. Like it sucked. But the point was, you had to do it. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that the team has scrubbed the YouTube channel. So you can't even
archive it all.
Yeah, you can't even find that shit. It's all private links now. But it's one of those things, dude, that like you say, when you kick it off like that, that is going to be, for the event, it's going to be a sweet way to open, because 100%. I guarantee you that it's going to be all the things people are afraid of. 100%. Shitty quality, uncomfortability, all these things, right? So you do the video. Do you post it? Do you start to use it, or do you realize that you need some work before you put it to the public?
I mean, in all honesty, like when I did that, right? When I hit record and I saw it, of course, I looked at probably a million times. Said, do I post this? Should I do this? But I essentially put my back to the wall, right? When I had said, I don't want any leads, I don't want any ups. Yeah. So how the hell am I going to get them? Yeah. Right? It was a theory, right? This was before social even became like a thing. This is before everyone started taking photos with their customer.
John, when are we talking about this? Give me a time here. You got a year for this on me? Just drop it down. What are we talking?
Oh gosh.
2008?
No, this was about when did before I got here? 6-7 years ago.
So like 2016.
2016, yeah.
2016 in there. Isn't this crazy to think about?
We're still talking about it.
2016. You're talking about this, right?
Yeah.
When we started Carbiz in 2013, we had our largest client in Madison, Wisconsin, where we'll all be this fall. Yep. And we convinced them to start doing videos of customer deliveries, right?
Yep.
Massive. But 2013, massive. Had they continued that trend today,
Oh, crushing it.
They are crushing it, but they would be like, it would just be an obliteration of sorts. You would have to do, and I know people always say, oh, well, how many times do you take a picture of a customer? In my opinion, never enough, because none of them do it enough. I don't care what anyone says.
100%.
All that. Okay, so here you are, 2016, no ups.
No ups.
Social media and your own social media. It's not like you were running the dealership social.
No,
right?
No.
Your social.
Yep. John Rex 1482. That's what that was the handle at the time before he came selling cars like candy. Oh, I remember it very well. I had about 700 people following me on social media at the time. I think it was his Instagram. This is early Instagram, and didn't take it up. I promise you. It was the end of January that I started, beginning of February. That February, all I did was put on social media, did the little motivational, start taking pictures of cars, start doing walkarounds, start taking testimonials of customers, right? Doing all the things you would normally do. I sold 32 cars in February. 32. Kia dealership in Ventura County. Did it the next month.
And that's before Kias were cool, which is all because of COVID.
100%. Yeah. Kia sold at the time. I think they still had the gerbil. I mean, come on, let's go, baby. Like
that's the one me and the wife saying. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, dude, no, love it. That's awesome. That's hilarious. So that happened. Now, obviously, that's pretty quick, right, for a turnaround.
Yeah.
I don't think that's probably reasonable for people to expect from their output, John, in today's world, because today's world is crowded.
It's saturated for sure.
You weren't doing it before, but here's the difference, right? It's crowded, but yet most of the crowd really ain't good at what they do anyway.
Yeah. And a lot of the things, and a lot of those things is, we talk about that all the time with like early adopters. I mean, your dealership in Madison Square, I mean, if they had continued, like they would literally dominate the space even until this time, right? Even as crowded as it is, I think this is those times where people just have to be that extra creative with those things, right? And what does that mean? I mean, everyone's creative in their own way, essentially, right? Like, you just got to just be you at the end of the day. I mean, and that's what it really comes down to. So anyhow.
And people say, John, again, you hear it all the time. We hear it all the time, right? About social media. So why can't you be on social? Oh, I don't have a salesman that wants to do it. Maybe I'm confused, but like, what? And so the concept right now that we run into a lot is salespeople who already do it.
Correct.
On their own page, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Well, but salespeople, here's the thing. For the most part, most of you have, like John said, 1,000, 1,500 followers, whatever. Some of these dealerships have 4, 5, 6, 7K.
Yeah. Yep.
Why wouldn't you, at bare minimum, want to simulcast your message that you put up on your page to your dealership's page? Just from an eyeball perspective. But John, what do you hear when you ask people why they post for themselves but not their dealership? What's the feedback on that? Because I know what
well, a couple of ones. Some of these salespeople, they like to keep it personal. They like to keep it their own because they don't. From what I hear, is that when they do it on their own page, they have full control of what they put on there. Once they start getting with the dealer, and the dealer's like, no, you can't post that, right? That's a little too edgy for me, right? I hear a lot of that, right? Some dealers don't. I mean, when they want to use a salespeople, they want to make it very vanilla, let's say, right? They want to subdue the actual person's personality. They want to just make sure that it stays aligned with the dealer or the group's identity. And some of these salespeople just don't want to play that game. I've seen some people that crush it, that use the F-bombs and they go crazy on it, right? And they sell a ton of cars. But at the end of the day, that's their own brand, right? So I remember when I started talking about this years and years, we both talked about this years and years ago. What's brand within the brand, right? Let your people brand themselves. They're their own business, right? We, in a dealership world, and we know it, they tell people, you guys are your own brand. You're your own business. We just do the overhead. We have the cars. We have the product. All you do is you come here, you handle your own business, do your thing. I think a lot of it just has to do with the salespeople, accepting the challenge and making sure that they understand it is their own business. It is their brand. And for dealership wise, they try to do everything they can. I mean, you have to put some ground rules to it. I mean, I'm sure no one wants to have an F-bomb on the group page and that type of stuff. Okay, great. But there are other things that that person can do that can elevate the brand of that actual dealership when it comes down to it. So
Yeah, and I think that salespeople from that perspective, obviously, I think it's a two-way street, right? As my
yeah,
buddy Bill Schomburg likes to always say, that you
yeah,
can't just as a dealership, you can't censor your people. But John, I think that's on a grander scale.
yeah.
Frankly, I mean, I think that look, I'll be honest with you. I think I was concerned when you were going to go work for somebody that
Hmm.
was going to happen to you, not in a way that was malicious or in a way. It's just the way
Yeah.
that businesses work. I see it every day, man. I talk to guys who you and I know are big on LinkedIn, who you
Yeah.
see them kind of going between gigs because they get brought in because of who they are, because
Yep.
they're their social presence. But then when they get there, they're like, hey, got to tone
Vanilla.
down the social presence. Like, wait, it's why you brought me here. Why would you have me tone it down? So I think businesses need to have a better expectation of what social media means to them, and what
Totally.
they're trying to get from it. John, how do you have those conversations with your client? I know you guys like us get involved in the organic social world, and
Hmm.
obviously, expense comes with that. People are always like, how do I validate? Well, if you're not doing anything, then doing
Hmm.
something's always better. What do you hear in conversations for dealerships as to why they don't do it?
Why dealerships don't do social media?
Yeah, why they don't do organic? Because they all do paid, bro. You and I both know that. They're,
Easily.
they're happy to
E-
give some fucking vendor five,
Easily.
6, 7 grand a month
Easily.
to put a bunch
Yeah.
of ads up and no one gives a shit
Easily.
land, right? But nobody wants to actually do the work. Why do you feel
Yeah.
they don't?
Being in the team that I'm in right now with Team MXS, right? I think our bread and butter is obviously organic when it comes to SEO, that type of thing. I think where dealers miss it with social media is that they don't understand. No one's explaining it to them in a way where it makes sense, right? Where organic social is like SEO on your normal digital, right? Organic social is essentially your SEO. It should basically everything that you're paying for advertising, radio, wherever you're going with this thing, it should have the same message. Now, does it take work, Sean? Sure. That's why it's not the sexiest thing to talk about. It's just like SEO is not the sexiest thing to talk about, but it has to be done, and it has to be done at a high quality and a high rate, right? So that's why we talk about the constant organic post, right? Making sure that the message, if your initiative is to sell more trucks, that month of social should be all freaking trucks. Trucks on the outside, trucks on the inside, the technology on the trucks. Take a picture of the wheel, something that
But
is going to
be
be aligned.
educational. Don't be
100%.
selling. Don't be selling.
Correct.
Jeff
Correct.
Hunter says it all the time. Your
Yep.
pages aren't for selling. Your paid marketing is for selling.
Million
Go
percent.
sell over there. Put your discounts. Put your this. Put your that. But in our
Yeah.
world, be
Yep.
organic. Be educational. I don't know if you've noticed it recently. I'm just totally spacing on the name, but a young female owner of a Toyota dealership recently has come onto LinkedIn like wildfire, and she's doing walk around. She's getting out of vehicles, and I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
oh my God, like this is the
Wait, she's the
owner.
owner? She's the owner?
She's the owner.
Oh, she's gonna win.
She's the owner. She's gonna win, right? She's gonna win.
Her
She's gonna win.
dealership's gonna win.
She has
They're
no
gonna win.
choice but to win,
Yeah,
right?
she's gonna win.
That's what I said. So, all right, hold on one second. All right, so we don't like to sell anyone short. So in this matter, we pause the show to do the proper research. Everyone right now should go out and follow Mary Rice, dealer principal, Toyota of Greensboro, North Carolina. I think
Yeah.
it's North Carolina, right?
Yep. Yep.
All right,
Yep.
so I'm dialed in. Mary has been she's just catching fire. Okay. I think she has less than like 2,000 followers on LinkedIn. She's going to have 20,000 this time next year. I'm telling you, what she's doing is incredible. And before we paused, Johnny Rez said something that really stuck with me. John, say it again and explain to us what you mean.
She's gonna win. Her and her whole dealership is gonna win. I'll tell you why. I know. Let's go back a little bit with the question you're asking, like why you're not seeing it, a lot of it, and the excuses. Here's the reason why a lot of salespeople probably won't do it for the dealership, right? Because they don't see their owners, they don't see their managers, they don't see their GMs. None of those people are doing it. The conversation usually is, as a GM, they'll say, hey, I need more social. Toyota's telling me I need to do more social. I need to be more active. Salesman, you right there, you're in the internet department. I need you to be the new social media manager. I need you to post a bunch of stuff. And the social guy or the internet person is like, go kick rocks. Like, no, I'll do it for myself, but I'm not doing it for the dealership.
Because
right?
where's this, right? Where's
Of
the
course.
money?
Where's
Where's
the
the
incentive?
time?
Uh-huh.
Because
100%.
here's the thing, dealers, you expect them to sell cars, right?
Yeah.
Then the second the sales slip, they're like, well, sorry, I was doing some social media. They're like, I don't pay you for that. And you're like, well, that's right. You
There it
don't.
is.
You're correct. But that's where we get into, look, I mean, you were in a dealership. I was in a dealership for a long time.
Yep.
If you're not a Swiss Army knife, you're probably out of the business. That's
Correct.
just a frankly, in the internet portion of the world, when you were the internet guy, people thought you were IT. People thought you were social. People thought there was everything, right? People line up my desk in the morning. Hey, Sean, computer's not working. Like, what the fuck do I care? You know what I mean? But you go and you work and you try to help, and we're problem solvers by nature, people like you and I, John. And so
Correct.
I think that's where this comes from. But dealers like Mary Rice out here posting, doing a walk around. She's not selling it. She's check out the new Tundra this, check out the new this, that. Right? Yeah. It's mwah. I love it. Mary Rice, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mary.
Mary's a win for sure.
Yeah, win.
And Mary, by the time you see this, you will have already gotten a message from me inviting you to being social. So we really hope to see you there. This event is for people like you, to 100%. Be surrounded by people like you who care as much as you do about taking their dealership to the next level via social media.
I want to point something out here really quick, because I've been traveling a lot lately, right? You've obviously seen it.
You have been. You've been a man and you're in the South a lot. You're a West Coast man hanging out in Tobacco Road down there.
You know what? You know what's crazy? I think I'm gonna give me a pair of freaking boots and a cowboy hat soon, because I think I'm just one of the people now. I just say, hey, what's up, people? But what I wanted to talk about a little bit, and I know I'm going a little bit off tangent a little bit here, but I think it's relevant to what's actually going on when you say the people that this event's for. What I'm starting to see, the people that I'm talking to a lot lately, Sean, is second, third, fourth generation owners, right? And here's what's interesting. Those same people are our age groups, maybe a little bit younger, that are in this world, right? Social before they even got into this world. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually really interested. I'm really, really excited to see where this is going to take us as far as content is concerned, about messaging and branding and people coming out with new ideas when it comes to social on an organic side, and also even on a paid side. I say it all the time. I will forever, till this day, will never shoot a come on down, I got the best price, $299. I will never do it. And when a client asks me, I'm like, kick rocks, tell your cable company to record that thing and have them do it, because I'm not doing it. Because Sean, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
It never works.
Brand building. It's about building. So people always say to me, hey, Sean, how do you quantify the value of organic social? Right? It's like, well, you can quantify it a few different ways. I'm a data nerd, as everyone knows. So I'll go into GA4 and I'll see an increase in direct and organic traffic, well knowing nothing's changed with inventory, nothing's changed with any of the geos, nothing's changed with any of those things. Those things kind of lockstep, they run themselves. But when you see those increases, especially in organic, out of nowhere, you're like, oh, I wonder how this happened, right? Another way to quantify for me is that I also can see it from a perspective of when people are with people and engaging the actual like content that exists. 100%. Like there's a whole thing there, dude. Okay, so while we're talking about people and doing it and growing up socially and branding, another place I go to look besides the content is I go to look at impressions. Well, why do you look at impressions? Well, because people charge us in the advertising world by impressions, right? Yeah. Whether you're looking at OTT, whether you're looking at, it's a part of the conversation. Yep. And so I say, look, last month, your organic social reached 180,000 impressions and 80,000 accounts. Yep. That's like $11 cost per 1,000. Is that okay? Well, OTT is 37 and it's branding. So I'm unclear why you wouldn't want to pay $26 less for 1,000 eyeballs. If all 1,000 eyeballs were considered equal, why would I consider to dump 6, 8, 10K in OTT and completely neglect the opportunity of social media? Yeah. Selling cars via social. Okay. Jeff Hunter, there are guys and gals in this world that can say that. Yeah. But that isn't and shouldn't be why you came here. It should be to brand yourself as something different. Because John, to your point, what I used to always tell my guys, they'd say, Sean, what's on sale? I said, guys, we're a fucking car dealership. We always have a sale.
Everything's
Get
on
over
sale.
it. Find something else. And by the way, everyone has a coffee center. Everyone has a loaner agree. Like stop
Yeah.
and stop. Somebody show me more reasons. The guys were like, hey, my customer got in on a finance in 30 minutes. I'm like, okay, let's try and let's start putting that out there. Hey, we'll get you in and out of our dealership less than an hour. John, people were running to us in droves.
Yeah.
Because they didn't give a shit about the price. No one ever asked us about the price. All they said was, how are you going to get me in and out of there in an hour? And by the way, this is 2005. And we said, well, we're just going to send you a bunch of secure credit apps via our website. You're going to fill everything out. And when you show up, it's all going to be done.
Yep. In and out. Car be washed, gassed up, ready to roll.
2005, people make me feel like Notre fucking Damas when they talk about how difficult it is to sell cars in today's world. It just, I want to throw myself in front of a car sometimes. It's just so frustrating. So, John, let me ask you.
Yes.
What do you tell? How do you give people encouragement to hit the red button? Because I know you're a man of the people. You are on ground in dealerships while I sit here in this office doing what I do. You are out with the people. What do you do to give people the confidence? How do you get them to start with hitting the red button? And obviously, this is a teaser to what John's going to be talking about September 24th, Madison, Wisconsin, Being Social 2024. What do you do, bro? What's the pep talk sound like? Because I know you are a motivational speaker. You get me amped up, so I'm wondering what it seems like.
It's for me. Well, I think the early connection is that they know that I've been in their shoes before, right? I was a sales guy before. I was a manager at the time, and a lot of it comes down to just having them understand they're not actors. You're not an actor, bro. Gal, you're just not an actor. All I want you to do is just be you. Just be you. And everything else will be fine. I said, the great news is I am a ninja in editing. So I'll make everyone look good. Right? And it's just, at that point, it's just having fun with it. I think that's the problem. When people think camera, they think commercials, they think of all these things, they think it has to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. No one wants perfect. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I'll probably, I'm not a one-hit wonder, hit record and done all the time. I'm pretty good at it now, but when I was first starting, I probably said the same line 50 million times. And then if I have to bring the relic out in the archive, I'll show them that video. Look at this video. Tell me that's not embarrassing.
No, not if. That is not. No. Yeah. You are leading off your presentation with whatever that footage is. Now, and look, if you can convince my team to go show you where ours is and get stuff from me, that's up to you. Add to that. I will not partake in that. I will not help you bring that shit back up. But if that's what people find, Josh Taylor found it somewhere. He posted about it the other day. So he found the relic somewhere. But yeah, dude, that's what it's about, right? It's about the confidence to have fun and set the bar extremely low for yourself. Yeah. Like, again, my first videos, you say you're not an actor, and that's all I tried to do the first 100 takes. And that's why I blew it out. That's why I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to do anything for social media. This is dumb. I don't want to do it. And then one day I was sitting in my office and I started to record a podcast, just an audio one. And I thought, all right, this is more me. So then we launched the show. We did the first 50 episodes of this show audio. And then it was just a natural progression to video. And the only thing that sucked was I couldn't just sit there with my hat off and, no shirt on. I had to be presentable for a camera. But to this point, people, if you have so John just talked about two sides of the coin, being the creator and being the editor. Yep. If you can take cool pictures or you could do cool videos and reels and shit, put music over it and be done. Like, don't feel the need to have. I have a face for radio, right? That's what we say. So I don't particularly care for myself on video. It happens a lot because that's my life. But if it were up to me, it would be audio only. And so to that point, you don't have to be out there. Just shoot, be excited, put on a consumer hat. I know for a lot of us, being car consumers is difficult. You've been doing this 10, 15, 20 years. You cannot be a car consumer. But you consume other shit. You look at other media. What's fun? What do you do? So, John, close us out. What is going to be what can people expect, I guess, from seeing you in Madison?
Oh gosh, well, obviously and I know my CEO is a Green Bay Packer fan. So if we're going out there, he's gonna be super. He probably wear his jersey flying out there. I don't know, but we're gonna get super amped up. I'm just gonna have a really great time with everyone, right? And if you've never seen me speak before live, or if you've never seen me on video here, or if you've never seen me in person, I am probably the most amped. You would think that I probably drank 20 cups of coffee, which I probably will have before I even do my show or do my talk. But it's going to be so live. It's going to be so live. I'll probably tell you things that, companies don't want to share. And here's the reality, right? You can have it all, but it's up to you if you're going to do it or not. And the reality is 10 years, 20 years, we're still talking about this. I could give you the whole blueprint. Who's going to take it? Please, someone take it. Just so I know that whatever the heck I was doing and what Sean's been doing and Jeff Hunter's been, all of us have been doing, it works. We're just saying, take it. Just take it. It's a the lineup is so real.
So true.
Sean, I'm so happy with the lineup. I'm so happy to be in your hometown. To experience I'm really excited about it, and it's just going to be so real. But gosh, at the end of the day, my thing is, I'll give you the blueprint, just use it. And if you don't use it, you probably pay me down the road to do it again for you anyways. So one of these ways, I'm going to be dealing with you one way or another, right? But I'm giving it to you, so take it. Please just
take it and run with it. And look, folks, this is what you can expect, this sort of energy from John. Yeah. And this is why we got the guy hitting lead off. Okay. This is why he's going to set the stage for the rest. And it's going to be, everyone else going to have to live up to the bar that John sets, because it's going to be set high in that regard, man. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to welcome you and the team to wonderful Madison, Wisconsin. We're going to have a great time, buddy. Thank you so much for taking the time today. Everybody, you can find John on LinkedIn. Also, Johnny, what's the IG for you?
IG is, believe it or not, selling cars like candy bar.
Believe it. I believe it. Folks, go find him, man, if you don't already follow him. And trust me when I tell you, the only thing that changes in person is you can actually feel his energy.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just going to be that much more exciting. Dude, thanks a lot. And everybody, thank you. We'll see you again next week. It's going to be, I'll keep it a surprise. We'll see you next week. Thanks a lot.
Sure. Have a good one. Bye.